Mama G's story time. Life lesson, Master Puppeteer. After so many months, Mariah and her husband, Galileo, had finally finished renovating their mansion. Mariah was so grateful for how the project turned out and thought it would be a great opportunity to invite the whole family. This is a great opportunity to host a family reunion to catch up with everyone, she thought to herself. When Galileo came back home, Mariah shared her thoughts about hosting a family reunion with him, and he thought it was a great idea. Plus the house is big and can accommodate all our guests, said Galileo. Now that the plan was set, Mariah called her older sister, Vivica, to inform her about her plans. Vivica thought it was a great idea. It had been too long since the family got together, plus it would be a great opportunity for everyone to see the newly renovated house. The two sisters made plans for Vivica to stop by Mariah's house to check it out. A week later, Vivica went to visit her young sister as per their plans. When she got there, she was amazed at how well they had renovated their house. It almost looked like a completely different house. It was big and spacious, with a high vaulted ceiling in the living room. It was absolutely stunning. "Sis, your house is very beautiful," Vivica opened up. "I am certain you spent a fortune on these renovations. You have done an excellent job. I am so happy because, as you know, some of our relatives think they are the only ones who have money and can build such beautiful houses. I want to see the look on their faces when they come and see your house, my dear. They will be put to shame," continued Vivica. "Thank you," Mariah said as she laughed off the last part. "I am just glad it all came together. Galileo and I had been saving for a while. However, I didn't renovate this house to compete or outshine anyone. We had just outgrown the house and we needed space, that was all," revealed Mariah. As they continued talking, Vivica asked to see the guest list for the family reunion to see who from the family Mariah had in mind to invite. But Mariah had not even started on the guest list but urged Vivica to suggest some names. "Well," Vivica started, "I think I am okay with most of the extended family coming, but if you are going to invite Della, Brianna, and Amelia, then I am not going to come. Della is so arrogant. I mean, I don't even know where to start with her self-importance. Honestly, I can't stand her. Then we have Brianna, the Mrs. Married well, married to the richest man in the family. Every time you talk to her, it's my husband this, my husband that, who has time for that? And lastly, we have Amelia, who acts like she is the most educated person just because she is the only lawyer in the family," Vivica finished off. "You know, I can't leave them out. I just talked to Della last night, and I told her about the reunion," said Mariah. "She has offered to buy a whole pig for the event. I was really touched by her offer." As if the offer was an insult, Vivica cut in, "Listen to yourself, are you serious? Are you telling me that you and Galileo can't afford to buy a pig? Why do you always like to sink so low?" Vivica asked angrily. "You don't always have to be a people pleaser." "Come on, I am not trying to be a people pleaser," Mariah responded. "Honestly, I have a wonderful relationship with all our cousins, so why would I refuse Della's generous offer? She is not sponsoring the whole reunion. Everyone in the family is welcome to contribute whatever they can. Vivica, you might want to talk to the girls if you have problems with them. You don't solve problems by excluding people, it just makes things worse. The reunion will be a good time to reunite the whole family, including meeting the children we haven't met," Mariah said. "Well, I can't make you do anything, but at least you know what I think. But if you insist on inviting those three, I won't come to the reunion, period." Vivica sounded off. Seeing that appealing words didn't do anything to change her sister's mind, Mariah changed the topic and it didn't come up again for the rest of the visit. But as Vivica drove back home, she called her favorite cousin, Pearl. She informed her about Mariah's plans to host a family reunion and shared everything about whom Mariah was planning on inviting. "Can you imagine she is planning on inviting Della, Brianna, and Amelia? That's why I have told her plainly that I won't be in attendance if she invites them," Vivica explained. "Mariah is a problem," Pearl responded. "She always has to play the good one, even when she knows that it is very hurtful to others. Can't she just be your sister for once and consider how that makes you feel?" Pearl concluded. Vivica and Pearl talked at length and agreed that if those cousins were invited, then they wouldn't attend the family reunion. As soon as Pearl was done talking to Vivica, she called Mariah. "How can you invite our arrogant cousins to the family reunion? Vivica told me she explained to you just how horrible they are. She said they have terrible behaviors, constantly showing off, competing with others, and acting like they are above everybody else. I too won't come if you are hell-bent on inviting them," she finished off. "Well, it's a family reunion and they are family," Mariah responded, and then she asked Pearl what they had done to her personally to make her detest them so much. Pearl responded that they hadn't done anything to her per se, but according to Vivica, they are boastful and have bad attitudes. "I trust her, she wouldn't lie to me. Vivica has been there for me so many times in so many ways, with no questions asked, she is just always there. I think there is something to be said about being loyal to those who are loyal to you. And to be honest, we both feel like you are just inviting them to show that you are the kind and good person of the family. You like pleasing people even when they are hurting other people," continued Pearl. Mariah was at a loss for words, but she could see that the conversation, much like the one she had with her sister, was not going anywhere. She decided to end the conversation, but in the back of her mind, she couldn't understand how Pearl could base her decisions on someone else's perceptions or dislike of others. Why wouldn't she try to get to know the girls better and see if they were in fact like Vivica described them? She also couldn't understand why her genuine initiative to try to bring the family together was causing so much drama. After pondering everything, she decided to call her father so that he could give her some advice on the matter. They talked at length and the father promised to talk to his daughter Vivica and his niece Pearl separately. He wanted to figure out what the issue was and why the two didn't want their cousins Della, Brianna, and Amelia to come to the reunion. Once he was sitting with Vivica and Pearl, he asked them what the issue was. Vivica talked to her father, and she repeated what she had told Mariah, that they were boastful, competitive, and looked down on others. "Have you told them how they make you feel?" asked her father. "No, I haven't, but what can they say? No, we are not. I have judged them based on how I see them treating people, and I am not the only one who feels that way," she answered her father. He then asked Pearl, who simply said she agreed with everything Vivica had said. He then posed a rhetorical question.
"Then how are they supposed to change? In their defense, they haven't done anything to you since you guys just talk about them behind their backs. And since no one is saying anything to them, they continue to think everything is okay. Vivica, you are my daughter, and Pearl, you are my niece, my brother's daughter, but I consider you both as my daughters. But guess what, I feel the same way about Della, Brianna, and Amelia, as they too are my siblings' children. Vivica, you are just an invited guest, but since you didn't get your way, you decided to recruit other people to forfeit your sister's event. I am very disappointed in you. Neither of you has provided a concrete reason for forfeiting the event. Pearl is just following your lead with no proof of any wrongdoing by your cousins. Vivica, why didn't you wait for Pearl to observe your cousins by herself and see if she could come to the same conclusion on her own? Sometimes we allow our own insecurities to control us, and if left unchecked, we can start to project them on others. Vivica, you have always been the competitive one. Even when you were little, you always wanted to have more or better than anyone else. Maybe seeing that others are doing well or starting to do better than you is causing you to think they are looking down on you. But that is not true, it's all in your head. Everyone can't be at the same level in life because everyone's journey is different, but there is beauty in that if you look for it. As for you, Pearl, stop fighting other people's battles. Be like Mariah, who stood up to her older sister and believed in doing the right thing. Puppet masters and ventriloquists have one thing in common: they both need puppets. Each person has to decide who they are going to be in life, either master or puppet, but you can't be both. One thing is clear: only the master is in control, but the puppet is needed to carry out the deeds of the master with no questions asked. Before you take a position in any fight, especially one that does not belong to you, make sure you understand all the facts, as there are two sides to every story. Be careful with the people you are loyal to because they can be in the wrong, and learn to stand up for what is right no matter how you feel about the person. My daughters, the rules or morals with which you ought to live your lives is to do your best to bring peace to those closest to you. Your parents and I have worked really hard to live behind a legacy of unity in the family, but you too want to throw it all away based on perceptions. What you have to realize is that you are now adults and that we, your parents, have lived longer than we have left to live. And before long, we will no longer be able to help you resolve these issues. If you allow small issues to divide you, you will leave room for outsiders to come in and use the disunity to their advantage by causing further damage to your relationships. At some point when you grow older, you will realize that forging strong relationships with family members is the strongest weapon you can ever have. So my daughters, strive to live peacefully with everyone in your family. The reunion will be a good time to reunite the whole family, and maybe even resolve some issues.
I hope you have enjoyed this week's story. Until next time, this has been Mama G's Story Time. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, at 1Mama G, to get alerts when new stories are posted.